I think it's no question that KDigitalStudio on YouTube is an iPad channel. I've done multiple videos comparing iPads, talking specs, and unboxing this magical sheet of glass, and this is mainly because I adopt and operate with an iPad-first workflow. A lot of people, maybe even yourself, turn to your laptop or maybe even a desktop computer when it comes to work. Typing papers, working creatively, maybe in apps like Adobe, using Excel spreadsheets or accessing the internet, what have you. And for years, this is how I operated too, and I never saw the need to change it. Until my sophomore year of college. For reference, I'm a senior now. I'm soon graduating with a degree in chemistry, and if you've taken any chemistry class, you know a lot goes into simply drawing hexagons over and over again. Drawing mechanisms and doing arrow pushing. And my laptop at the time, a Lenovo ThinkPad with a touchscreen, was actually becoming a huge hassle. Pulling out pencil and paper with literally 20 pages worth of mechanisms, not worth it. I invested in an iPad and an Apple Pencil, the cheapest one on the market at the time, which was the 6th generation iPad, and my entire workflow and life changed. Mechanisms, drawing molecules, so much easier. My grades improved ever so slightly, but enough to take notice and recognize how that switch benefited me. And it only went up from there. I started taking all of my notes digitally, annotating my textbooks, pulling figures directly from the textbooks, annotating presentations, and then I switched from my paper planner and strictly using the Google Calendar to actually creating my own and using my own hyperlinked digital planners. In just a matter of 2 months, from my iPad and Apple Pencil purchase, my workflow became iPad first and iPad dominated. So what does an iPad first and iPad dominated workflow look like? It looks like picking up your iPad first thing to check into the day. I turn to my iPad first thing in the morning to check my to-do list and my digital planner. I also look at the week and month ahead. I track my business goals and metrics in my digital planner as well, and I like using the iPad ClickUp app. It's a no-brainer to me, being that I am creative, that my iPad is my first device when getting things done. And now with newer and newer iPads coming to the scene, aka the M1 iPad Pro, my iPad in a lot of ways outmarks my MacBook and is such an attractive replacement for me for a lot. So storage. For my iPad, I rely on the cloud. I pay $10 a month for more space, and it serves me so well given how much I've grown to use my iPad for hours on end every day. I do have some files stored locally on my iPad, but when it comes to upgrading or accessing those files on my computer, should I decide to, the integration is so seamless with the cloud. My backups are also stored in the iCloud, and I'm not worried about losing anything important. And with iCloud storage comes files. I love the Files app. Many apps are adopting the same setup and UI as the Files app, so integrations are getting more and more seamless. It's the best way to manage all of my documents and files, and many apps like shortcuts on the iPad depends on the Files app for iCloud storage. My dock is organized much like you would organize your dock for a computer. I put all my apps I access or use the most and what makes the most sense for my general workflow. So when I'm working in one app, I can always access kind of those peripheral apps that I use often by making the most of that dock space. What I love about the iPad, ironically, is that I can really focus on one app at a time. Studies show that we really aren't as good at multitasking as we think. Having our brains switch between tasks isn't great overall for getting things done. That being said, I love the iPad multitasking feature because I think it takes this into account. Oftentimes, it's difficult to focus on the task at hand because we have an open loop. Something so small that's really bugging us, like adding milk to the grocery list or something like that. And with multitasking on the iPad, you can easily pull up small and easily swipeable windows to close loops and focus on the main task at hand. And I think that's the big key that a lot of tech is missing when it comes to handling the issue of multitasking. Given that my iPad serves as both my work and business device, which does happen to be creative work, I don't litter it with a ton of apps. I'm very picky about the apps that I download to my iPad, and if I don't use them every day or every 5 to 6 days, they get deleted. Meaning I don't have any games on my iPad or Netflix, etc., which is totally cool. If you do, your iPad can serve a different purpose than what my iPad serves, but I think it's important that certain devices have different purposes. My iPad equals work and business device. I'm not watching shows or playing games on it. My computer equals some work and some play. What can I say? I love The Sims. And my Switch equals all play. you'll see that by creating these app boundaries between different devices, that I've actually created it to where my iPad comes first when it comes to work. Because I do play games on my computer occasionally. And sometimes when I do work on my computer, it can be difficult not to also want to play a game or two. The iPad might serve a different workflow for you, or maybe it doesn't at all and it's strictly entertainment. For me, it's all about finding the sweet spot between boring work and creative work. I'm an entrepreneur and a creative all wrapped into one, and I have found that the iPad is the best primary computer for me. I create all of my products on it, create all of my marketing and promotions on it, I plan my life on it, I take notes for classes on it, and I can easily go all day or days without touching my computer. With everything I talked about in this video, I've been able to transform my workflow into being iPad first, computer second if needed. And where my work is taking me, I only see it growing more and more iPad focused, if that's even possible. I'd love to hear about your current workflow setup down in the comments, and I'm also happy to answer any questions you have about the iPad first workflow as it relates to your needs if you're interested in making that transition. The iPad is such a revolutionary device, and I think it can both replace and complement a ton of different working styles. If you enjoyed the video, please do give it a like and subscribe. If you're new here, I post videos weekly on digital planning, tech, and iPad creativity. See you next week.